Hi, I'm Raj Kumar, President and Editor-in-Chief of DevX, here again at the European Development Days in Brussels, and joined by Jørgen Haslestad, who is the CEO of Yara International. Yara International, of course, a Norwegian firm, and by some measures the largest fertilizer producer in the world. So you're here at European Development Days, and I'm curious to know why. As a large corporation serving farmers and agricultural institutions around the world, how do you connect with Europe Aid, with the European Commission, with other international aid agencies? What is the role of that relationship?
The role is our involvement in partnerships with the governments, the G8 initiative that Obama launched 2 years ago. We are part of that as part of from the agricultural industry to actually be able to achieve what we want to achieve, higher growth, more sustainable agriculture business in Africa, but all over the world. You need to work now more and more in partnerships. And you have to have partnerships between private companies, but also then with the governments and the NGOs.
And what is the challenge for your business? Is it trying to find ways to enter these markets that are going all the way down to the smallholder farmer? Is it to build supply chains? What is your challenge in accessing these market opportunities?
We have been in Africa for 35 years. We are selling our fertilizer products almost to all Africa. But what we, as a challenge, the world as such need more food. Obviously, we need to strengthen the role of the smallholder farmer. And we need them to make them more efficient, and having them to be more efficient means also that we need to develop an infrastructure around them, because it doesn't help that the farmer is only producing a bit more and feeding his family. Yes, that's good, but then he also needs to do a business out of it, because otherwise it's not sustainable for him. And if he shall then make a business out of it, he has to have a market to take off his product, there has to be infrastructure to take the products then into other markets. So the whole thing is depending on a much larger corporations, and that's where the governments are coming in, the NGOs and the aid organizations and the different countries.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a new mentality in a way that's come to the development community. Take a large corporation like Microsoft. They have an interest in more and more people having computers, because at that very large scale, when you're such a big company, there's new market opportunities. Or the pharmaceutical industry wanting to train more nurses in places like sub-Saharan Africa, because it creates more supply chain for their product. In your case, in agriculture, you need a bigger market and a more connected market, right?
You do, but also then Africa need to develop their own agricultural market as such. Obviously, we are participating in that to sell our products, but we are also then helping the society. And the Grow Africa, that's 9 countries, which are actually African countries, which are driving this, where we have then made initiatives, which is supported by the G8 states, where also EU is supporting. And we are then involved, committing ourselves then for initiatives in this cooperation, but also then the NGOs are in, and the different countries are in. So Mozambique, Ghana, Tanzania, Ethiopia, 9 African countries, and the African Union are the ones who's actually driving this. And we are then part of that from the private industry, and combining that with the public sector.
And I'm curious, because I think this is a challenge for many corporations, how you organize this activity within your business. Do you have a unit that just is dedicated to sort of corporate social responsibility? Is it integrated more into your supply chain side of the business? How do you manage it?
It is, and this is not a CSR program from us, it's actually part of the strategy. Because it has to be integrated into your business, because it's just a program, then it's almost like aid as it was in the old days. So when we are involving ourselves, we are also then making a business case of it. And the initial contacts sometimes are done by me and over teams from strategy, but then it is brought into the business, and the business are driving it. And it has to be business cases for all what we are doing also then in the activities in Africa, where we then see the benefit from it. Probably we are accepting that it take a bit longer time than normal businesses as such, but it is a good development. And we are having about 10-12% of our volumes is sold into Africa, and we are selling to almost all African countries.
Well, I want to ask you one last question because I know you're here as a speaker, and you're talking in part about partnership.
Yeah.
This is a conference put on by EuropeAid and the European Commission. Do you have a partnership with EuropeAid? How have you found that to work so far? What is the advantage for other companies who might be thinking about engaging with EuropeAid in a partnership?
We are involved in EuropeAid and as representing, coming from one of the European countries.
Sure.
And also then participating in the development of and increase in the production of food.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, it is also then important to work with institutions like this to have them to understand what we need in the corporations as an industry. Because in the old days, the governmental institutions were a bit afraid of working with the industry because they thought that they would only make maximum profit for themselves and not having an interest to sustainable development. I think they also understand. We firstly also then have to understand that it's about profit, but also then it's about the ability to bring things forward. And the different institutions are also then understanding that we have to work with the private industries. Because if you do not work with the private industry, smallholder farmers are also private industry.
Sure.
If you are not able then to develop them and us together, we have no chance.
And you find EuropeAid is working in this way, it is able to partner?
It's one of the institutions that we're working with. And they are working also then with USAID and with the G8 initiatives. And when all things come together, and that's what we try to do, because we are working in a lot of forums, and we are trying also then to participate in making sure that everybody is then pulling in or pushing or pulling in the same direction.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing those thoughts with us.
You're welcome.
And thank you for being here today at the European Development Days.
Thank you.